A very good afternoon to one and all. I'm your host, Dr. Ruby Gill, and I feel honored to welcome you all on the behalf of lovely professional university. The attendees, I'm sharing with this much excitement that today our expert will deliver their expertise and make us learn and tell us about the easy steps for memory enhancement. I'm sure you are as excited as I am for today's learning process, so kindly allow me to introduce our experts. Dr. Pavitra Prakash Singh, Professor in Management and Dean, School of Social Sciences and Languages, lovely professional university, an intellectual and highly skilled educational leader with a rich and diverse experience of 26 years in the industry with entrepreneurial experience in teaching and research as well. In his career, he has undertaken, supervised more than 162 academic and 7 consultancy projects and presented more than 50 research papers in numerous national and international conferences and seminars of repute. To his credit, he has authored 27 books and 40 research papers. And talking about his accolades and awards, he has been honored with Manufacturing Association Faridabad Award 2014 by Honorable Governor of Haryana and Bharat Vidya Shromani Award 2011 from India Solidarity Council, New Delhi. Also, he has visited countries like Tanzania, Sri Lanka, and many more for academic and research purpose, and he is proud member and chairman of various boards and committees. So, sir, it's a privilege to have you on board with us today. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Ji.
Additionally, we have with us Dr. Manvendra Singh, Associate Professor, Department of Government and Public Administration, lovely professional university. A dynamic professional with a doctorate degree from MNIT Jaipur and having an experience of more than 22 years as an academician. He has supervised 30 PG dissertation and 7 PhD theses as well. To his credit, he has published more than 50 research papers and book chapters in national and international journals and publications of repute, and he is the resource person of numerous workshops and seminars as well. Also, he is the proud member of Chartered Management Institute, London, United Kingdom. So, sir, thank you so much for your valuable time today. Thank you so much for joining. Furthermore, we have with us our admission expert, Ms. Neera Sharma, Senior Officer, lovely professional university. With an experience of 15 years, his expertise lies in business development, marketing, and product promotion. And at attendees today, he'll give you an insight of eligibility, fee, and scholarship, which I'm sure will make you save a lot of money. And in addition to that, he'll also be sharing the infrastructure part of the university. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Thank you so much for your valuable time as well.
Thank you.
So with this, thanks, sir. So with this, I welcome you all once again to the webinar and looking forward for a great interactive session. So over to you, sir, for the content of the day.
Thank you, Dr. Ruby. Thank you for Thank you, Dr. Ruby, for such a lovely word. Welcome, Neera sir, also, and my dear colleague and senior Dr. Manvendra also over here. The debate or the discussion today is around easy steps for memory enhancement. If I ask few of you who have joined that what you have eaten 2 days before, might not be. And if I ask Ruby ma'am what she has taken for the breakfast, maybe she'll be able to recall one less item which she had taken. The same way it happens that as the time passes, the memory fades or retention power goes less, either because of the time or because of so many things. We are engrossed into so many things that we keep on forgetting a few of the things. But the logic is, how can we remember songs, movies, scenes, or few formulas like E is equal to MC square. It's always known to us. Then if I talk about the kinetic energy and potential energy formulas, it might be known to us. Or in our olden time when we were in school, when teachers used to teach us trigonometry, and there was a sine theta, there was a cos theta, there was a tangent theta, and it was a triangle where we were fighting for that what is equal to sine theta. Then was it equal to hypotenuse upon perpendicular, or perpendicular upon hypotenuse, or where base comes into it. The teacher gave us a very easy formula that if you have to remember the equations of sine theta, cos theta, or tangent theta, then the simple thing is write Pandit Badri Prashad Har Har Bole. So Pandit oblique Har, that means perpendicular oblique hypotenuse. Pandit Badri is base, Har base upon H is equal to cos theta. Then the same way for the tangent theta. So there are certain steps that I still remember. The songs of the good olden times. You might be recalling so many good songs of heroes, heroines, singers, ghazals, and so many things. Or that means memory has got something to do with repetition. Maybe not our only our capacity to understand, then how to put the things into our mind. That our mind is, we often say that we utilize hardly 2% to 8% of our genius utilize 8% of his mind. That is 92% of the mind is almost waste. We are not able to use it for the time. So that means something can be done into putting those things which we need to remember or recall into our memory cells, that they stay in our memory for longer duration of time. Or there must be certain kind of shortcuts, there must be certain kind of things, like if I ask you to recall like my phone number, it is something 5081 44487. So 44487 is something which I have said, okay, 44487. Now there is something which is coming into my memory again and again. So memory has got something to do with repetition, something to do with making the things easy, something to do to make whole of the system break into smaller subpart. Like for example, if I have to start a computer in the morning, if I have to start a laptop or a desktop, first thing is I must put a this power cord. Second one is I must switch it on. Third one is I must wait it for to boot. Fourth one is okay, I'll pass it my password. Fifth one is okay, whichever app I wish to open, I'll open. So there are steps. So memory has got something to do with certain kind of steps. Maybe my capacity of learning is less, but if I am utilizing my memory, if I am utilizing those steps, the memory or the retention of that particular thing can stay for longer. The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be ignited. This is what my dear friend Dr. Manvinder will explain further from here. So let's see what all easy steps he shared with us for memory, for remembrance, for recalling, how to enhance our memory or how to retain the things into memory, like Pandit Badri Prashad Harar Bole, I still recall. So maybe he is letting us know furthermore few steps through which we can enhance our memory or can retain few things which are more pleasurable, which are more retainable, which are more important to stay in our memory rather than everything. I welcome Dr. Manvinder. All yours, please, Dr.
Thank you very much, respected Dean Sir, Pavitra Prakash Singh ji, and the entire management and staff of the lovely professional university. And a very good afternoon and a very warm welcome to one and all. Now, when we are talking about the easy steps for memory enhancement, as the famous psychologist has once remarked, that the normal average capacity of a human mind that has been utilized ever on this planet Earth on an average is just 2%. And if you can recall, there was a famous movie by the name Lucy. I'm sure that many of you have watched that movie, in which Scarlett Johansson played the lead role, in which a professor was doing a research on the potential of human brain and the cognitive abilities that the human mind can perform, according to which only 5% of the human beings have been able to utilize their true potential of their mind. What does it mean? It means that there is a huge potential. There is a untapped potential that has still been, has to be utilized. So let's talk about easy steps for memory enhancement that will help not only in your preparation for competitive examination, but it will also help those who are working or who are already in job in order to have a very good memory and mind interrelation and intercoordination with each other. So from a very early age, we have been taught what we need to learn, but never how to learn. And this part, how to learn, that is going to be a very deciding factor for many future years to come, especially when you are in your teenage. So what is this how part and how it is related with memory and how we can improve this memory? In order to understand this, let me give you a small example that imagine for 2 minutes that we have lost our memory. We cannot remember anything. No, this is not a joke. It is a reality, and it has happened during the time period of 1945 at the end of the Second World War, when many soldiers, due to their mental trauma, have been into a stage where they were not able to recall anything. Second example I would like to quote here is of the famous ship RMS Titanic, the Royal Mail ship Titanic, which was sank in the ocean, Atlantic Ocean, somewhere between 15th of April 1912. And those people who have sank in that ocean, what happened is, before the time period of life and death, they have reached that moment in which at a blink they were able to recall everything right from their childhood till that point of time. So what does it show? And that was telling you about the different kind of age groups also. On that ship, there were children, there were women, there were men, there were aged people, there were senior citizens who were able to recall, okay, right from their childhood, what they have been through in just a flash of a second. So it means the human mind is having the capacity, the human memory is having the potential to be recalled at a needed point of time, at a given point of time. So here it is very much pertinent that we understand what is this memory all about. So memory refers to the ability when somebody is able to recall. Now this recalling can be in a form of any specific date, any specific event, any specific people, any specific instance. So there are three significant stages of memory process. First is the creation. So creation is done through your information, whatever data, whatever information, whatever newspapers, whatever media, whatever your eyes are seeing and whatever your ears are hearing. Okay, that works like creation of your memory, which is going into your subconscious mind without you being aware of that. Second is consolidation. It means when all those different bits and pieces of information are consolidated into your subconscious mind. And third is recall. Recall is when someone is able to recall that particular bit of information that particular piece of information, whether it is any specific event, name of a person, name of a place, any important date in a chronological or in a sequential order, whatever. So these are normally the different stages where your memory is working and processing. Now, I have divided this entire easy steps for memory enhancement into two broad parts. In first part, I will talk about how you can improve your memory by bringing some simple lifestyle changes. Why I am talking about lifestyle changes is because our human mind is just like a library. Imagine whenever you are visiting any library, you will find that there are n number of books, and those books are very much stored or kept in a very arranged manner, in a very proper manner, so that suppose if you are a student of medical science, if you are a student of law, if you are a student of social science, then you will go to the librarian and you will ask them that, sir or madam, I want a particular book that I'm looking for in the field of law or social sciences or medical sciences or any other XYZ domain or subject or theme. Then they will guide you that you go to row number 8, and in that row number 8 you go to column number 7, and in the third shelf you will find your book. So you will start directly going to that place and start searching there. Now our human brain is also, our human mind is also something like a library. We are having whatever our eyes are seeing, I am telling you that it is getting stored in your human brain. Whatever your ears are listening, it is getting stored in your human brain. Whatever you are whatever you are experiencing, your emotions, your sensations, it is all going in your brain without you knowing it, that it is going into your subconscious mind. Now there are two different kind of mind. One is conscious mind, second is your subconscious mind. So now recalling the information or a piece of information from that subconscious mind is a challenge. And if we talk about the modern day life, which is creating lot of trouble and problem in lot of people, and I'm not only talking about the senior people or the aged people or the people who are above the 40 or 50 years of bracket, I am talking about the youngsters who are around their 20s and they are not able to recall. There are many reasons responsible for this, but if you do these simple lifestyle changes in your day-to-day life, certainly your memory will improve. So let's talk about them. There are 8 important lifestyle changes that you need to bring. First is learn something new. Now why I am saying learn something new is because just like your human body, you need exercise, your body needs exercise in order to keep it going. Similarly, our human brain also needs the mental exercise. It may not be physical, but it is a mental exercise. So there are certain mechanisms by which you can keep it running, you can keep it going. There was a famous psychologist by the name Thorndike. According to Thorndike, on an average, the human body and the human mind specifically is having the capability, is having the ability to store the information, the memory, to keep the memory intact up to the age of 60 years. So if anybody is saying that I am not able to recall that thing, I am forgetting things more often than not, then it means it is not a natural process. It is not natural. It means there is something not right with your human body, because your human memory, it's a combination of two things: 50% biological and physical, and 50% it is psychological process. So what you can do about it? You can learn something new. Now when I say new, what do I mean by new? New means it can be any new language. You can learn French, German, Spanish, or any other language in any other medium. It may be even other vernacular languages. You can start practicing crosswords. You can start learning new skills. Skills can also be divided into two broad categories. That's a different topic: soft skills and the hard skills. You can learn new words. and build up your vocabulary. So this way, if you practice it on daily basis, it's a very small thing, but it will give you results if you practice it for a prolonged period of time. You will see that your mind and the memory will improve with time. Moving on to the second part, which is, apart from this, as I said, 50% mental process, psychological process, and 50% physical. So for that, you need to increase your physical activity. Even if you are working upon improving your memory, your human body, your physical body needs still a challenge. So that challenge you can give is when you are arise in the morning, when you are awake in the morning, in the fresh hours, you can perform some kind of mild exercises, okay, for 15 to 20 minutes, so that your blood start pumping. It will be a very effective strategy to push the blood and to provide you more fresh oxygen to your brain. Or those who are aged, they can take a short walk or doing some kind of roping or skipping or jumping jacks exercises. That could also be helpful. Third is sleep well. Now, memory, creativity, and critical thinking skills, these three are interrelated and interdependent upon each other. Why? Because there is a very famous hormone responsible for your memory and improved cognitive and mind powers, your critical thinking powers, that is melatonin. Melatonin is a very popular sleep hormone. So when you are able to sleep properly, then this hormone will make sure that your body gets energized. Your body, when you are awake in the morning, you feel fresh. If that is not the case, and if you, while you are awake in the morning, if you don't feel fresh, if you feel still sleepy, if you still feel tired, it is a symbol that your body is showing that the required or the adequate amount of melatonin is not produced in your body yet, which means there is some kind of imbalance in your sleeping patterns, in your biological clock. So you have to get a sleep schedule and stick to that, even on the weekends, because weekends are normally people take it for granted. They try to go to party and late night parties, and then when they reach home it's already the morning. But when they practice it for a long time duration, what happens is the biological clock gets disturbed, your melatonin hormone secretion gets abnormal. So this is very important that you stick to a proper sleep schedule and follow that for a time period. Second is your screen time. Screen time means those screens which emits blue rays. It can be your mobile phone, it can be your smartphone, it can be your televisions, it can be your laptops, it can be your computer screens, or anything like that. So make it a habit that if you go to bed before 1 hour, you need to keep this gadgets, electronic gadgets, away from your human body. And even when you are sleeping, do not keep your mobile phone near your pillow or near your head, because according to an estimated scientist research, minimum 10 feet of distance you need to maintain between your mobile phone, because your mobile emit radiations, and those radiations are also affecting your human mind and the secretion of melatonin hormone. And third very important point, before going to sleep, do not take caffeine intake. It can be coffee, it can be other carbonated drink, okay? So try to avoid them, especially if you want to sleep well. Now, on an average, if you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, around 7 hours sleep is recommended. And for those who are above 50, above 60, at least 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours of a sound sleep is recommended by the scientists. Apart from this, try to stay more social, because relationships do play a very important and healthy role. And in this, there is a very famous book that is written on the Japanese longevity of life, that by the name Ikigai. And in Ikigai, if you read that book, you will find that what is the secret of the Japanese longevity. Means why the Japanese people, you will find a lot of Japanese living more than 90, 100 years of age on an average. So according to that book, the most important component is that they socialize with each other. Okay, they believe in having a good human bonding, human relationships. So how you can do it? You can develop a new hobby, or you can learn, or you can volunteer, you can join any club, you can take any class, you can try to create your own social circle. Suppose some of you are preparing for competitive examination, it can be civil services, it can be IAS, it can be state PCS, it can be any legal judicial services, it can be any other government exam, it can be any international level exam. Okay, so for that, you are not the alone person. There may be many more like-minded people. So try to find them, try to identify them, develop a link with them, and stay connected. And this way, you will not only be able to generate those happy hormones. There are two kinds of hormones. One is serotonin and second is cortisol. So serotonin is a happy hormone that you need, okay, that relates those kind of hormones in your mind and then your entire body, which gives you more happiness, which gives you more energy, which gives you contentment, which gives you satisfaction. Whereas cortisol is that kind of hormone which is the other way around, which reduces your happiness. So try to increase your serotonin hormones by building good relationships. Fifth, avoid stress. Nowadays, whether it is a student life, whether it is a job, whether it is a business, whether it is any organization, whether it is your family relationships, we as humans cannot avoid stress. But there are few tips for management of stress levels effectively. Some of them are that you can practice easily, set your boundaries, and do not expect much, especially in relationships. And try to take some breaks. If you are doing a continuous task, try to take a break. Talk about your feelings, talk about your thoughts. Have a friend whom you can share your feelings, whom you can share your thoughts. Try to have a healthy balance between your work life and your personal life. And try to avoid doing lot of tasks at a single point of time. Okay? So sometimes it may help, but most of the time it may not help, especially if you are focusing upon one particular aspect and then suddenly another task and then another task. So what happens is your mind is having that kind of capacity to tackle all these kind of multitasking, but at the same time it will burn up. So try to avoid that, especially in your initial stages. And how you can do that? By meditation, because meditation can have a positive effect on your human mind, memory, concentration, and reasoning skills. Apart from that, try to get a balance. Balance means try to have a kind of life, whether it is your personal life or whether it is your professional life, to have some kind of organization, means things in a very proper, arranged, orderly manner. So for that, you can keep a to-do list on your top priority on top of your daily task. And likewise, you can keep your home area or work area more clean and organized, okay, which will certainly going to affect your ability to recall things. And last but not the least in this lifestyle part is have a healthy diet, because healthy diet can help boosting up your energy, your mental cognitive levels, your concentration power, your reasoning abilities, your analytical abilities, your critical skills, your thinking ability, your innovation skills, and so on. So now I will talk about some important tips and tricks to improve the memory. According to an estimate of the scientists, human brain can hold up to 1 quadrillion pieces of information, means around 1000 trillion piece of information over the course of entire lifetime. So here are some examples that I would like to give you is organize the information. If you want to remember, this is the first method, the first tip, that is called chunking method. For example, if you want to remember this number 867204875, if you try to remember this number in a singular digit like 8 different, then 6 different, then 7 different, because if you see most of the digits are different from each other, like 8 is different from 6, 6 is different from 7. 7 is different from 2, 2 is different from 0, and so on. So how you can remember such kind of numerical information? For that, use the chunking method. In chunking method, what happens is, instead of remembering it like separately 8, 6, 7, 2, 0, 4, 8, 7, 5, you can remember it in chunks like 867, 20, and 4875. So when you remember like this, your memory will not only be able, it is easy for you to recall it at a needed point of time. Okay, rather than remembering it in a singular manner, 867204875 separately, you try to remember it 867 in one singular digit, then 20 or 204 and 875. So you can remember only three things: 867, 204, 875. That's it. Moving on to other important methods. Associations. Like our respected Dean sir was giving you a very important formula, Pandit Badri Prasad Har Har. So similarly, this formula is known as making associations, creating associations between some unrelated items, not related items, but some unrelated items to make you recall things more easily. Suppose if you want to remember a long name, suppose if you want to remember a particular place or a collection of places. Okay, for example, you want to remember a name of the oceans, 5 largest oceans or 5 oceans of this world. Okay, so if you try to remember it just by associating it, okay, ocean, Arctic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, okay, and so on. So that is going to help you to remember this piece of information. But if you want to remember it more easily, and if you want to recall it more easily, try to associate it with some kind of acronyms. For example, you can just create ASAP, means as soon as possible. Okay, why I'm telling you? Because A stands for Atlantic, S stands for Southern, okay, then Indian Ocean, then Arctic Ocean, and then Pacific Ocean. So you just name the acronym ASAP, or according to your convenience, you can create your own acronyms and then associate those with those acronyms. And this way you will be able to recall the things more easily. So next is using the visual cues. So there in human minds, there are two kind of memories. One is the numerical, the data, and the second is your photographic memory. So graphs, photos, they help you in recalling more easily as compared to the other kind of mechanisms which you use for memory. Okay, because your brain can process entire images in as little as 13 milliseconds. So if you want to remember or recall any piece of information that your human eyes are watching or your ears have heard to some point of time, you try to associate them, you try to give them a visual image, a photographic image, so that at the time of recalling, you will be able to recall them more easily. Okay, for example, there is a small exercise that I want to show you here. Suppose there are few words like a cat, watermelon, lake, bunny, tomato ketchup, clock tower, teapot, and UFO. Now, if I ask you to remember all these in just 1 minute, and then I will ask you, or even maybe in few seconds, then you will think that there is no relationship between all of them. Like cat is different from watermelon, lake, bunny, tomato ketchup. So what we can do is you try to give them a photographic visual cue. For example, imagine a cat who is holding a watermelon inside a lake, okay, traveling with a bunny who is carrying a tomato ketchup, and they all are heading towards a clock tower where a teapot is installed over the UFO. So in this way, you will be able to recall more easily and remember it for a long duration of time. See, what is memory? Many candidates, especially those who are preparing for civil services or any other competitive exam, what happens is for first year, they prepare. Like after 12th class, they start preparing for IAS or any state civil services. First year, they prepare. Then second year, they prepare. Then third year, they prepare. Now, after first year, if you ask them that do you remember what you have studied? Okay, I'm sure that most of them will say not much. Why? Because they are not able to retain it for a long time. So whether it is civil services or whether it is any government or competitive exam, memory retention is the key to success. If you cannot retain the content, there is no point of you reading more and more things and then forgetting them at a point of time. Because on an average, and it is quite natural, you will forget. So if you want to retain for a longer time period, then you have to apply some specific tips and perform these, implement it. These are very simple tips that you can do it on day-to-day basis, by which you will be able to memorize and retain those content for a longer time period. Moving on, the mnemonics. Mnemonics is the science of, mnemonics is the study of, mnemonics is the art of, it is the skill of memory, basically. So how you can memorize things more easily, that science, that skill, that art is known as mnemonics. So for example, if I ask you that there is a sentence in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Now, if you have to memorize it, okay, just like it, just by reading it, okay, you will not be able to retain it. I'm sure that many of you can memorize it, but that will not be able to retain for a longer time period. Why? Because after 1 week or after 10 days, if I ask you the same thing, that in which year Columbus has sailed the ocean blue, you will say that maybe I don't know, or some wrong answer will be provided. So if you want to remember it, just see the left side. There is an image in which a ship is traveling and 1492 is written in the ocean. So you have to believe that 1492 is the name of the ocean. What is the name? 1492 is the ocean on which a ship is traveling, on which Columbus is there. So by this photographic memory, okay, you will not be able to forget this 1492 so easily. And this ASAP example I have already given you, how to remember Arctic Ocean, Southern Ocean, Indian Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and Pacific Ocean. Okay, just give it an acronym like ASAP. Okay, and you can create your, not necessarily ASAP only, you can create your own acronyms as well, depending upon your convenience. Then try to write down the things, because when you are writing by hand on a piece of a paper, okay, one side of your mind gets activated. Okay, that is responsible for cognitive powers, your memory, your concentration, your focus, and your memory retention. So if you do not write it down, oral communication, if you are doing orally, if you are saying or speaking or doing, okay, then at a needed point of time, at a given point of time, if you try to recall that thing, you may not be able to recall that so easily. So try to write by hand on a piece of paper. It can be your goals, it can be your objectives, it can be your to-do list, it can be your task, it can be your priorities, whatever. Next is say it out loud. Okay, try to speak loud. Okay, if you want to remember and recall things, and if you want to retain things for a longer period of time. Because according to the research, the production effect of reading aloud, it results in the strongest ability to recall the information. So when you are studying any or reading any book or piece of paper or any article without reading it loud, what happens is it is only the information that your mind is, you know, just input. Okay, it is taking it as an input, but it is not going to give you that power to recall it. If you want to recall it, then you have to say it loud, because when you say it loud, that part of your memory becomes activated and you will be able to recall it, okay, when you need it the most. Then engage in active recall. In our university, we have a very good practice of CA, that is continuous assessments. And especially if you are doing civil services pathway, we are having every week CA. So a lot of students say that, sir, why we are having every week CA? Normally there are only 3 CA, CA1, CA2, CA3. But here in civil service pathway, we are having weekly tests and weekly CAs. So that is needed because it helps you in active recalling. Okay. So how we do it? We give you the quiz. Every week there will be a test consisting of short questions, consisting of essay type questions, consisting of MCQs, multiple choice questions, and so on. So when you do this multiple choice questions, suppose many times it happens like you meet today a person named Gaurav, okay? And after 1 month, you see the same person in a park or in a cinema hall or in a university or at any XYZ place. And then you say and come that, hey, I know you, but I don't exactly know your name. So given the choice, if I give you 4 names, and out of which if you have to select one name, then you will be able to select that name correctly. Like out of Ravi, Mohan, Manvendra and Gaurav, then suddenly you will say, Gaurav. Okay, why? Because it is there in your subconscious mind, but because you are not able to recall, you forget. It is not, mind is like that untapped resource which don't forget so easily the things. Okay, whatever you see, it is there. Whatever you hear, it is there. All you need is the tips and the daily practices by which you will be able to increase the ability of your recalling and memory retention. So you don't forget, your mind do not forget. You think that you forget, but actually your mind do not forget. Okay. Last but not the least is rehearse but take breaks. Rehearse means repetition. Repetition means revision. Over a long period of time, it allows your neural cerebral capacity of your brain, okay? The link between your hypothalamus, your cerebellum, and the frontal part of your human mind, okay? And if you want to improve that memory part, then you need to do a lot of revision, right? So the science behind is that a single exposure to information is usually inadequate for long-term retention. You may be able to recall it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe half an hour, maybe 1 hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, maybe entire 24 hours. But if I ask the same same question after 48 hours, okay, on an average, most of you will forget because you have not revised that thing, you have not rehearsed over that thing, right? So with this, I end my presentation on the easy tips for memory enhancement. Thank you very much. Over to you, Ruby ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. This was an impactful presentation. You have bounded us with your visionary thoughts, and audience, thank you for your patience and participation. I'm sure you must have upgraded your skills. You have learned a lot from the inputs and learning shared by our expert. So thank you so much, sir. Sir, before we move on to our admission expert, we have few queries from our attendees. So with your permission, we'll take up those queries. Manvinder sir, can we take up the queries?
Yes, please. If you are having any query.
Yes, sir. So,
Yes, please tell me.
so there is a query from Musab Ali. So, as you were discussing, there was one point that we need to be, students need to be social. They need to, put their heart out with the, so that they should be comfortable with the environment. So, Musab Ali's query is regarding that only. That, sir, what about the introverts?
Yes, that's a very good question. See, even if you are introvert, that does not mean that you cannot have a good memory. Okay, but if that is only about balancing your retention power, which is influenced by your hormones. So there are 2 kinds of hormone I have explained to you. One is serotonin and second is your cortisol. Serotonin is influenced by your happiness, your mood, your emotions, your sensation, your sensory experiences of your body. Okay, so by socializing, I do not say that go and party every day. Okay, you can have a few selected friends. Okay, introvert does not mean that you cannot have anybody in your life, right? Introvert means you can have few friends, few selected friends. with whom you share an emotional bonding. Otherwise, what will happen is whatever you feel, if you do not share it, it can be your parents also, it can be your siblings, brother, sister also, it can be your any relative, any neighbors, any good friends, okay, anyone with whom you are comfortable sharing your emotions, your thoughts, your opinions. Especially these are very helpful if you are preparing for any competitive exams. Okay, you can form a group between all of you who are preparing the same thing or who wants to achieve the same objective. Okay, for example, the Indian Administrative Services or any other kind of government exam or any other kind of exam, national, international, whatever. So same kind of like-minded people, when you share your thoughts, okay, you create a bond, automatically the serotonin level will improve. And at that point of time, the memory retention will also be influenced, and that will also bound to improve. Okay.
Yes, sir, definitely. I completely agree with you. And Musab, I must tell you that if you take admission in your university, this is a diverse university. You will meet n number of students from different country, different regions. So I don't believe you'll remain introvert. So that's for sure. And you have the guidance of our faculty like Dr. Manvinder sir. So I don't believe you will be introvert over here. So moving on to the next query, sir, as you were discussing about the healthy diet, so the another query is regarding that. So an attendee wants to know that how it would be possible that to have a healthy diet when we are living in hostels away from our home. So what is your take on this,
Okay.
sir?
Well, that's also a very good question. When you are staying away from home, I understand that there are many challenges because you don't have your parents with you. You don't have somebody who is going to take care of you as a guardian or going to give you a healthy diet. But at that point of time, your self-dependency has to come and play a very important role. You need to learn how to cook, basically. Okay, and don't be shy away or don't try to avoid that thing. Okay, because if you try to eat outside food, okay, on a day-to-day basis, on a daily basis, then certainly it is going to affect your physical health and over a time period your mental health as well. So try to develop a habit of eating healthy foods. It can be green vegetables, it can be fresh fruits, okay, it can be more whole grain wheat products rather than fatty acids or trans fatty acids and saturated fats, okay, which you get through your pizza, burger, your outside junk food, basically. Okay, because it contains lot of, for example, if you drink Coke on daily basis, it means you are consuming one bottle of a Coke contains around 10 kilograms of sugar in it, which you do not on an estimated on an average. Okay, so it means because it is containing that gas, you don't realize it. But when you consume a heavy amount of sugar, intoxicated sugar is entering into your human body. Okay, so instead of that, they try to balance, means there is good sugar also, there is bad sugar also. So for example, honey, for example, your desi gur and jaggery, okay, they may help you in this. And then try to be self-dependent, because it is also an opportunity for you to become more self-dependent rather than always thinking about I am new to this cooking thing, I cannot do anything, so let me just go outside and eat the junk food and just relax. Okay, because over a time it will create a lot of infections also in your stomach, in your body. Yes.
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. A good health, a good diet is also a key to success. It plays a major role in your success. And attendees, I am also residing in the hostels at LPU, and I must tell you, the food over here is very much hygienic, and like you will feel the homely feel over here while you will having the food over here. So you need not to worry about the food in the hostel, especially at LPU. So yes, sir, thank you so much for resolving all the queries of our attendees. And now for the admission part and for the hostels and for the fitness and all those things, we have our expert with us, Mr. Neera Sharma, sir. So, sir, over to you for the admission part of the university and the infrastructure part of the university.
Thank you, Ruby ma'am. Thank you so much. Good evening, all of you. So before we proceed with the presentation part, I would like to tell you a little bit about LPU first, so that the students are already aware that what kind of campus do we have. So then we will be shifting on to the presentation part. See, as far as LPU is concerned, it is India's largest private university in terms of area and number of students on a single campus. We have only one campus in India, and that is situated in Fagwara, close to Jalandhar in Punjab. It's such a huge campus that the area is spread over more than 600 acres of land. And if you talk about strength, we have 30,000 students who are studying here with us, and they are from 50 different countries. So you can very well imagine people coming from 50 different countries means we are far better in terms of placements, in terms of curriculum we are teaching, in terms of faculties we have, in terms of practical knowledge we are giving, right? So then if I talk about the number of programs, so you'll be surprised to know that we are running more than 100 programs from here, starting from 10th onwards diploma to post PhD. We have programs available with us in different streams. And if I talk about infrastructure, right, we have each and every facility available within the campus itself. Like we have a huge mall here, we have a hospital, we have more than 100 food courts, we have a very big indoor stadium where different game facilities are available. And of course, we have separate hostel facilities for both boys and girls, which are 100% secure. And as we were discussing, that the food quality and all, so we do have mess facility also for the benefit of the students. Then banks, ATMs, post office, you name the thing, you'll find it within the campus itself. Now coming to the presentation part, right? So I'll just switch on to the presentation part. So you can very well see that on the very first slide, LPU has broken the records. So if you remember the Tokyo Olympic Games, which got postponed from 2020 to 2021, 13 of the LPU students have participated in these programs, in this particular Olympic Games. And we really feel proud to share that 10% of the Indian Olympic participants at that point of time were LPU students, and none other than the heartthrob Neera Chopra and other people like the Indian hockey team who have brought laurels by winning bronze medal, and of course Neera Chopra in the individual event javelin
I'm so
throw.
sorry to interrupt you. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Your presentation is not visible to the attendees. Yes, sir. Now it
Okay,
is.
okay,
Yes.
right. Okay, fine. So as per the, I'll just repeat out, right, from the first slide, you can see that the LPU has broken the records. So I'm talking about the Tokyo Olympic Games, which got postponed to 2021. So in that particular event, 13 LPU students have participated. And if I tell you, 10% of the Indian Olympic participants were LPU students. Now coming to the another part, which is adding feather to a cap, that LPU team has lifted runners-up trophy at Khelo India University Games, and none other than our Honorable Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, along with the Sports Minister, Anurag Thakur. They were the ones who awarded the runners-up trophy to LPU team at Khelo India University Games. And if I come to the ranking part, right, there are different agencies, different magazines which give rankings to all affiliated colleges and universities. So I feel proud to share that as per the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings of 2022, LPU stands at 74th position globally. And if I talk about Times Higher Education World University Rankings, in that case, we are at 36th position among the top universities of India, which includes both government as well as private universities. And if I tell about the subject-wise rankings, we are second in business and economics, 8th in clinical and health, 9th in computer science, and 10th in engineering and life sciences. Another big ranking, which is called Adult Rankings of Institutions on Innovation Achievements, we stand at 3rd position in India. Now about the campus life, that what a student can expect once you reach LPU, what are your expectations, that what kind of campus life will be there, what kind of exposures you will get. So you can just have a glimpses. On the very first slide, you can see none other than our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. He was here with us at LPU campus to inaugurate the Indian Science Congress in 2019. Then we had our His Holiness Mr. Dalai Lama. He was here with us. He was the one who participated in one of the events in LPU. Then in this picture, you can see the former two presidents of two different countries, one ex-president of Afghanistan, another ex-president of India. They were the ones who shared the dice in one of our convocations in LPU. Then Shri Arun Jaitley ji, our ex-finance minister of India, he was here with us, and he was the one who started the startup school of LPU. Then Gopal Gohardas, the spiritual leader, he was here, and he was the one who shared his life experiences and taught students and faculty members in different aspects of life. Then, of course, the Bollywood icons like Shah Rukh Khan, Deepika, then Alia Bhatt, Ranbir Kapoor, you name them, and you will find them to be a part of one of the events in LPU. Then yes, of course, you can see in the picture MS Dhoni, the ex-captain of our Indian cricket team. He was also here with us and shared his life experiences with the students. Then coming to the infrastructure part. So in this picture, you can see these are 14 back-to-back blocks, right? Which includes the open air theater, the library, then ECE department, which is situated within the campus. Then an auditorium, which has a capacity of 2,500 students in one go. Then this is the mall which I was talking about. It is a very big mall situated within the campus for the benefit of the students. The inner view of the mall, which includes different shops and other facilities. Then the library, the fully equipped library, which is functional 24/7 for the benefit of the students. Then, of course, coming to the recreational part, for the enjoyment of the students, we do have some uh, games like this bowling area is there, fully equipped gymnasium, and other parts are there. Then this is the hospital picture. We have a 25 bedded hospital, which includes a dental chair within the campus. This is the inner view of the hospital. Then a very big indoor stadium is there, right? And of course, in the indoor stadium, we have Olympic size swimming pool, then badminton, volleyball, basketball, squash courts are there. We do have a gun shooting range as well. So this is the panoramic view of the campus, and you can see the different departments, and these are the night view, which shows you the buildings of our hostels. Now coming straight away to the other part, right? Somebody who is interested to get admission in any of the programs, so what you need to do is you need to visit our website, which is lpu.in. So once you reach the first page, you'll find a tab by the name Admissions. You need to click on this tab, and as per your requirement and your area of interest, you need to see whether you're looking for programs which are undergraduate or postgraduate or after post graduation or doctoral programs. So according to that, you can get the details of that program. Let's say if I'm interested to go for an undergraduate program, so I'll click on this tab, regular programs. Here I will find the different streams in front of me in which a student can take admission. So these are the different disciplines in which a student can be interested. So let's say, as if I'm interested in public administration, right? I'll just click on this part, and I will have that, yes, we do have a program by the name BA Honors, which is a 3 years degree with 6 semesters. So if I'm interested to join this program, I'll just click on this tab, and I'll come to know about the details of the program, that what is the eligibility criteria. So as per the details, it says that you need to have 60% marks, aggregate marks in your 10+2 with English as a compulsory subject. And along with that, you have to qualify our test, which is called LPU NEST. Now this test is mandatory. It is compulsory for you to get admission in any of your BA Honors program, right? Which can be BA Honors English, Political Science, Public Administration, and so on, right? So once you clear the test, you'll be able to proceed further for your admission. Now, if I further scroll down, I'll come to know about the curriculum part, right? The open minors, the industry interface, undergraduate research and study abroad options. And if I'm interested to know the details of the program, that what all will be taught in the first year, so I will straight away go to this part and I'll check out that, okay, these are the subjects which will be taught in first year, then what all will be taught in second and third, and so on. Then, of course, coming to the other part, like elective offered in the curriculum, which all electives will be offered. Then coming to the major part, which is fee. So if I'm interested, so the fee for this program is 50,000 per semester without any scholarship. But we are giving very good scholarships in the program, and these scholarships are divided into 3 different parts. You can call them category 3, category 2, and category 1. So accordingly, let's say if somebody is interested for scholarship, of course the test is mandatory. So as per the test result, you will get the scholarship. Let's say if the result of the test of LPU falls in category 3, the student will get 35% scholarship and the applicable fee will be 32,500 per semester. If he or she performs little bit better and the score falls in category 2, the student will get 45% scholarship. Fee will further come down to 27,500 per semester. And if you are lucky to get bracket 1, so straight away 55% scholarship is given and the fee paid will be only 22,500 per semester. So you can very well see and understand that the scholarships which are available today in this program are 35%, 45%, and 55%. Now, along with this, there are other categories also through which a scholarship is given. Like you can win scholarship on the basis of your 12th percentage also. Anybody who scores between 80 to 89.99 marks percentage in 12 will get 35% scholarship. If the percentage in 12th is between 90 to 94.99, you get 45%. And if the percentage is 95 and above, you get 55%. So you need to remember one thing, that there can be different categories through which a scholarship is given to the students. Can be on the basis of your LPU test or 12th or any other category. But at LPU, you will get scholarship only one, and that too which will be the highest one. Now let's say there is a student who is eligible for scholarship in 3 different categories. So what we'll do is, at the time of admission, we will compare his categories, and in whichever category he or she is getting the best scholarship, the best one will be given to the student and the remaining 2 will be taken out. And whatever scholarship a student wins in the very first semester, that gets carried forward for the complete program. Now it's a 3 years degree which contains 6 semesters. So let's say somebody who wins 55% scholarship in first semester, so this 55% benefit will be given for all 3 years, all 6 semesters. So that means student need not have to appear for this scholarship again and again. It's only a one-time process. Okay, now coming to the other part, right? Though the scholarship slabs are based on your LPU and other special scholarships, and financial aids are also applicable, right? So any person whose parents are in defense, Army, Navy, Air Force, so their wards will get a particular scholarship. So there are other categories also, but as I told you, you will be given only one scholarship, which will be the best one out of it. So coming to the last part, that how to apply. So you need to visit our portal, which is called admission.lpu.in. This is the portal where a student will register first, then the student will apply for LPU NEST, which is mandatory. So for LPU NEST, the fee for boys is 1,000 and for girls it is 500. So once you pay the fee of the test, you will be asked to book a slot for yourself. So we call it a slot booking. So you need to remember the dates for that. that the last day to apply for LPU Nest application is 31st of July. So we are already today is 27th. So only few days are left. So I would request all the students who are interested to rush off and apply for your LPU Nest, because until and unless you don't clear the test, you will never be able to proceed for admission. Because in such programs where test is mandatory, first you will apply for test, you will clear the test, and accordingly you can process your admission part. So once you have booked your slot, right, then you will appear for the exam, and the last day to appear for the exam is 5th of August, right? So once you have already appeared, the result will be out within 24 hours, and once the result is out, you need to proceed for admission immediately, subject to the last date, which is 10th of August. So now once the dates and other things are clear, I would tell you that if somebody is interested to join any of the webinars, so on the very same page, you need to click on this tab, admissions, go to your extreme left, you will find a tab by the name LPU's Edu-Webinar Webinars. So you need to click on this tab, and you will find, if you want to know that what all upcoming webinars are there in the upcoming days, there will be a particular tab. So you will click on that tab, see upcoming webinars. You click here and you will find the webinars topic wise, date wise, and the resource person who will be giving you the information related to this particular topic. So if you are interested to know the details of this particular subjects and this particular you can say the tagline, so accordingly you will have to register and you can further be a part of this webinar. Even all those webinars which have already been done in the past, that also is possible from this tab. So now, last but not the least, I would request all the students, right, if they want to know the details of the program, as I told you, you need to visit our site, which is lpu.in. This is the website. But still, if you have few queries and you want a response through mail, you can drop a mail at admissions@lpu.co.in, and you can even give us a call on these numbers, which are 01824 517 000. Another number is 404404. Thank you so much for the patience. Wish you all the best. Have a nice day. Thank you. Over to you, Ruby ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for the detailed information about the admission part. So that's all for today. Thank you, attendees, for sparing time and participating in today's webinar. We appreciate you all for being here, and I believe your knowledge has been enriched by today's learning process. Also, I would like to express my appreciation to the experts for their valuable contribution on the topic, which was entitled as Easy Steps for Memory Enhancement. I'm sure your years of research, your years of experience will definitely help the attendees to choose the right path. So until next time, I, Ruby, will finally sign off the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.